Welcome to Tech in the Car. I'm Oliver. In this video, I'm going to show you the new version of Android Auto, codename Coolwalk. In this video, I'm going to show you what it looks like, how it works. Now, just a little proviso here. This is a beta version. This is not the final version, so there may be some changes which happen between now and then. But this is a first look at the new version of Android Auto, which is very, very exciting, which Google announced at Google I/O 2022. Let's look at the design now. On the screen here, you can see I have this new panel design. So it's got my Google Maps in a little square there. We've got some suggested destinations, and then underneath that, I've got our music. On this version, I have the option of having the bar for the navigation down the left or the right, depending on what side my steering wheel and seat is on, and I can change that in the settings, or having it along the bottom. Now, I've chosen to have it along the side here. This is the infotainment screen on the 2022 Audi RS3. We've got a 10-inch screen, and you can see down here we have our Audi navigation icons. If you have the bar on the bottom, which I will show you, there's slightly less space for the information on the display, so I think it looks better like this. And the way this works is very, very simple. Down the side here we have our notifications tray, which will show if there's any notifications, just like previously. We have our Google Assistant button, and we have our apps button. If I tap my apps button, I can scroll through just like you used to before normally. If I tap back to this, we go back to our overview. If I want to make Google Maps full page, I just do this and it will become full screen. And then I can see everything on here like before. And then I can tap the little icon down there and it will go back to the panel view. So it's very, very easy to see how this works. In this widget here, we have our music. I can tap on the play and pause button and it will play or pause, or I can skip forwards and backwards. Very, very simple. The previous version of Android Auto had a little widget with a pause and play button and forward and skip at the bottom here. So it's slightly easier. Up here, we have some suggestions of places I might want to go to, and we've got our map overview. If I want to make this full screen, I just tap on it like this and it'll go full screen. As simple as that. Now, one thing which is interesting is if I go into the app view and click on Waze, for example, Waze does not support the panel view. So I don't get the option down here at the bottom to go to the panel view. So I'm assuming that these apps need to be updated to support it. If I go back to Google Maps, I then get back to my panel view if I tap the little panel button down in the corner there. So nice and simple that is. If I open up, for example, YouTube Music, and then we just start playing something, for example here. Now, if I open this up, now you should see down here, this widget now becomes YouTube Music. So the widget will change dynamically for the music to whatever you want. And again, I can pause it and skip the tracks like that. Simple enough. If I want to navigate to a location, for example, I can tap on this and then it will start showing me the navigation down here. And now it will split into two panels here. So we have our left and our right. We have one side, we have our music, one side, we have our navigation. Now, what happens if you get a notification? So if I send a text to myself now, like this, so I've sent a text to myself. In a second, that should pop up here. And now you can see there's a little widget which appears up there, which will say tap to read aloud. Now I can tap it and it will read the message out aloud, or it will show up in my notifications. I can also go down here and tap on messages, and then it will appear on my messages. And if I tap it, it will play as well. So that's very easy to understand. Now, after a few minutes, that will go away and the music will become full screen again. In fact, if I press play, so those notifications for messages like texts or WhatsApp will go into the corner and then disappear in time. So that's how Coolwalk works. Let's now have a look at some of the configuration options here. So if I go into my settings here and I click on settings down here, in this version, I have the option to have the vertical rail enabled or to have it not enabled. So if I turn it off now, and then I unplug Android Auto and plug it back in, you will see now that the bar along the bottom is just like the previous version of Android Auto. I can still go into the same information as before, and you can see it shows me my navigation down at the bottom there, which you don't get on the side view. I can go back to here, I can go back to my maps, and I can see the information just like before, but now it's down there. Now, if I want to change the side here, I can go into the settings. So if I click on here and I go into settings, and then I click on show more settings. On my phone now, it lets me change the seat which the driver is sitting in. So left or right or default set by the car. If I turn this to right, the vertical rail was on the left hand side last time. So I've turned on the vertical rail, but I've now moved it to the other side of the car. So you can see now it's on the other side here. So So now on the right hand side, we have the vertical rail. And again, I can move it back to the left hand side again if I want to. Same way. I prefer it on the left hand side because it's a bit nicer looking, because it's not as busy on this side of the car, because that's where the car built-in information is. But obviously the negative of having it on that side of the car is that you have the problem of, well, you have the problem of having to reach across here to do it. Now if I unplug this and plug this back in again, you'll see now it's on the left hand side. So that is Coolwalk. That is an example of it, how it works on the 2022 Audi A3. This is a 10-inch display. It's simple to use, easy to use. I think it's a lot better than the previous version. There's no doubt about that. You've got more information on the screen. It looks nicer. You can take it full screen. Obviously, we need to wait for the final version for all the apps to support it. But I really, really like what Google have done with the new version of Android Auto. So it's a cool little feature. It's a good update. It's worth getting. I'm excited for it to be rolled out on to everyone and to use it every day. Please give this video a like if you found it useful, subscribe for more on the channel, and see you soon. Thank you very much.